Welcome back to Creative Alternatives. Today we are exploring the art of problem solving. Listen closely, because the next moment might change the way you think about every difficult decision, every impossible challenge, and every obstacle life throws at you. Imagine standing in front of a door that has no handle, no lock, and no visible opening, yet you absolutely know that something extraordinary lies behind it. That is what problem solving is. Not knowing the path, but trusting that one exists and believing you are capable of finding it. It begins with curiosity, matures into strategy, and evolves into mastery. Sometimes we mistake difficulty for impossibility, but here lies a truth that reshapes minds. No great solution was ever born without discomfort. Problem solving is not limited to academics or innovation. It is the invisible language woven into careers, relationships, personal growth, and civilization itself. Every advancement from electricity to digital intelligence grew from somebody's refusal to accept that a problem could remain unsolved. The art lies not in finding an answer quickly, but rather in holding the question long enough for deeper clarity to emerge. It teaches that every question contains more than one outcome, every obstacle holds multiple pathways, and every failure opens doors that success keeps hidden. To solve is to see, and to see is to understand layers beneath the surface. Consider a child learning a puzzle. At first it is frustration, confusion, uncertainty. Then pattern recognition appears. Their brain reorganizes its possibilities. That evolution never stops. Adults simply forget to nurture it. Solving begins by acknowledging that life will not hand over answers. It challenges comfort, pushes beyond instinct, and forces thinking into territories that stretch the mind. Those who master the art know that clarity does not appear instantly. It reveals itself through pressure, experimentation, and reflection. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not intelligence, it is persistence. Problem solvers step into complexity willingly. They do not fear uncertainty. They explore it. They understand that the process is iterative. A failed attempt is not the end, but a necessary checkpoint. When Edison said he discovered thousands of ways that did not work, he was redefining failure. Instead of a dead end, it became a direction. Instead of shame, it became data. When solving becomes personal, it fuels purpose. It gives a sense of responsibility to create change instead of waiting for it. The world rewards those who think for themselves. The strongest decisions, the greatest ideas, the boldest innovations, they come from questioning what already exists. The art of problem solving is therefore a mindset: courage over hesitation, resilience over doubt, creativity over compliance. The moment a person realizes that every challenge presents more than one answer, problem solving becomes power. There comes a point when technique matters. Insight needs structure. Direction needs method. One cannot simply wish solutions into existence. Great problem solvers approach complexity like sculptors chipping away pieces until only the essential shape remains. First, they define the problem not vaguely, but precisely, because a poorly defined problem becomes unsolvable. When you articulate clearly, your solution becomes clearer. Next comes decomposition, breaking large issues into smaller workable segments. Any problem becomes manageable when divided into smaller elements. This is why strategy exists. It allows the mind to move systematically rather than emotionally. Sometimes the issue is not that a solution is missing, it is that the situation has not been reframed. A business might not be failing, it might simply be targeting the wrong audience. A student struggling in a subject might not lack intelligence, they may lack the right learning approach. A communication conflict might not reflect incompatibility, it may reflect misinterpretation. Reframing unlocks opportunity. Analytical thinking forms the foundation, but lateral thinking bends the rules. When analysis becomes too rigid, imagination becomes oxygen. That is why creative thinkers solve problems others cannot. They see connections others overlook. Creativity is not magic. It is the ability to merge ideas from unrelated spaces. A scientist observes nature and invents new technology. A designer observes emotion and builds human-centered experiences. A strategist observes failure and derives new pathways of success. When emotion clouds judgment, logic rescues clarity. When logic limits options, creativity expands them. True problem-solving balances both. And then comes the stage most people fear: trial. The willingness to test an idea, risk disappointment, evaluate results, revise, and try again is what differentiates dreamers from achievers. Sometimes solutions do not emerge until the 10th attempt, sometimes the 100th. Most people quit at the second. They lose patience before the insight forms. Mastery comes from patience with uncertainty. Answers take shape over time. The great truth remains: the mind gets sharper each time it tries. Every failed attempt reveals a missing piece. Every correction sharpens direction. Suddenly, the impossible becomes practical. Suddenly, the overwhelming becomes clear. Problem solving is an art because there is never just one way to reach the destination, only intention that shapes direction and persistence that completes it. One day you will face a problem that does not resemble anything you have seen before: a crisis at work, a personal breakdown, a financial disruption, an unexpected collapse in plans, or an emotional storm that shakes your sense of certainty. In that moment, the world will divide into two types of people: those who freeze and those who analyze, think, and progress. The art of problem solving is the skill that decides which one you become. The most successful individuals are not those born with advantage. They are those who learn how to untangle difficulty. They seek solutions even when none are visible. Instead of reacting to chaos, they reorganize it. The mind becomes disciplined. The emotional voice softens. The reasoning voice strengthens. They recognize patterns, anticipate consequences, and develop choices. That ability transforms decision-making. When others panic, problem solvers strategize. When others blame circumstances, they build alternatives. When others surrender, they innovate. The world changes for them because they change how they see the world. Eventually, problem-solving becomes instinct. Life becomes less about avoiding difficulty and more about shaping outcomes. A leader emerges when they stop asking a "why is this happening?" and instead say, "how do we use this?" Relationships deepen when conflicts turn into conversations. Careers bloom when competition becomes analysis instead of intimidation. Purpose clarifies when uncertainty becomes exploration. You begin to understand that every challenge is a teacher. Hardship is not the enemy. Stagnation is. When answers are not visible, you search further. When something collapses, you rebuild stronger. The art of problem solving makes you unstoppable not by removing obstacles, but by making obstacles irrelevant. And the extraordinary truth is this: once you learn how to solve one complex problem, you begin to solve many. You gain confidence, skill, and courage. You begin to trust your ability to think, adapt, and construct a path. The world recognizes that strength people rely on it, respect it, and follow it. Problem solving is the invisible mark of leadership. It is what builds innovation, resilience, and transformation. And the moment you treat every challenge as an opportunity rather than a barrier, you begin to live at a level where solutions appear not by force, by mastery.